Michael. Do you know what Michael stands for? The real meaning of Michael? A leader of heaven's armies, and thus is considered the patron saint of soldiers. So, Michael, all Michaels have a clever mind, good business judgment, a sense of responsibility, and an appreciation for the finer things in life. Must be true. Serious-minded, inclined to make a little light of things, but in little ways. And in your younger years, Mike, you had more mature interest than others your age. Isn't that true? Home and family meant a great deal to you, and it's natural that you should desire and secure a peaceful, settled home environment where you can enjoy the companionship of family and friends. Whatever a Michael sets his mind up to, they will accomplish. They'll do it their very best, complete it in accordance to what they consider to be right. In the home, you assume your responsibilities, having the self-confidence to form your own opinions and make your own decisions. Others you can rely on, and others rely on you as well. Once you have given your word, you will do your utmost to fulfill the responsibility. However, there's a tendency to be a little too independent and thinking that it's difficult to accept the help of others when you really should. That's all about Michael. Due to your strong sense of responsibility, you can experience worry and mental turmoil through assuming more responsibility than you should. And that's the true definition of Michael. And Michael, this is your video, man. This is it. Today, we're going to go over every single exercise that you could put. We're going to embark on every modality, from strength training to cardiovascular. We're going to get a little clinical so you understand the motion, the position, the environment. We're going to be right back with your video, Michael. Talk to you soon. Michael, looks pretty crazy, right? So you're in the gym and you're just jumping. I want you to look at my feet. Okay, I'm just coming off my toes. All I'm doing is engaging inner core temperature. I'm bringing up inner core temperature, the most important thing you can do before a workout. Stay away from the treadmills and the ellipticals and all this. This is me talking to Michael now. You have a different goal than most of the clients that actually contract me to do this particular video. You're going to increase neural activation, okay, the way your body sends and receives signals to certain muscles and what their role is along with the joint. And you're also going to increase inner core temperature. I want a full body warm-up, and the best way to do it, if you can, is just to do some light jumping. Look, I'm not jumping high. If I'm jumping 1/4 of an inch, it's a lot. Okay? Just like this. Keep 2 feet together. Watch my feet for a minute, Shane. I don't want you to switch or run in place. Okay? I don't want to transition from, laterally from right side to left side. I just want to keep it straight. Okay, now if you have a rope and you're willing to do that, you can also use a rope, obviously. Nice and easy. Okay? Keep it together. Okay, nice and easy. If you don't have a rope, let's pretend. We'll be right back. Michael, in your anterior shoulder girdle musculature, okay, anterior delt, you're experiencing a little bit of stress and strain during certain motor skills. Now, a chest is nothing but horizontal, okay? It's the rules of the body, okay? Even though I'm pushing out here, it's not, my arms are straight out, it's a horizontal plane. Horizontal shoulder adduction. Your arms must go to midline. One of the worst bottom of the totem pole exercises that you can do is the straight bar bench press. Remember, we invented these exercises. We didn't really think about what the muscle does with the joint. Your arms have to go to midline, or your shoulder joint has to adduct to get 100% stimulus or emphasis in the pectoralis region on that horizontal plane. So I'm going to set up, and I'm going to do things a little reverse. We're going to do a couple exercises to really warm up your shoulders so that the last exercise that you might think is the heaviest and the hardest, which it is going to be the dumbbell bench press. We're going to give it a chance. So I have the free motion machine here, the cables. The cables are semi-wide, Okay, just watching me set it up. If you have this type of machine, I'm bringing these up to about number 6. I'm opening them. You might have a hand switch here that does it. I have a foot pedal. Okay, so I'm going to bring them out. So here I have 4. Actually, I'm going to bring it to 5. Number 5 on a transverse plane, number 5. 5 is showing it's on 6. It's on 6. I set a reasonable weight to show you the right form. I'm going to grab the hand grips. Let's talk about no injury. Here's the worst thing you could do, Michael. And then push it out. Okay? So I'm going to teach you how to get into the machine safely and effectively. Hey, when your arm hurts, what do? You put it in a sling, right? So we're going to put it in a sling. Okay, that's called a closed packed position. Very safe. I could have 1,000 pounds, I'd never get hurt. I'm going to come into that closed packed position. Now I own it. There's nothing can happen to me here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to walk back as I keep the weight static in one spot. So I'm going to walk back. Okay? I'm going to show you that again. I can do it at a different angle. I'm going to walk back. Now I have the load. I'm going to walk forward. Watch the tubing, or watch the cable in my arm. I'm going to walk forward until the cable is almost at my elbow, not touching. Can you get a bird's eye here? This would be incorrect. Here's where I'm going to stop, right there, so that I always get a pull on the humerus as I'm coming back. The cable's coming out of my elbows, okay? Coming out of my elbows. Here's the position. Notice my shoulder to my elbow joint. See the decline where water could run down it? Watch my right shoulder. Water cannot run down my right shoulder. This is what everybody does. They're too high. That's going to increase the acromion clavicular impingement. That's what you don't want. That's why you're experiencing some of these problems. Drop your shoulders, drop your elbows, so that you're like this. 1, 2, and there's your path of motion. Okay? There's your path of motion. Not here. Look, that's shoulder elevation. Drop it. Come on in. Close pack. Close pack. Walk it forward. Walk it back. Get in position. Slow. Guess what's behind me, Michael? A brick wall. I cannot go back any further. Okay? Press. I cannot go back any further. Press. Here's how you knew we're doing it correctly. Watch what happens when I rotate. Look at that cable. Center of my shoulder. Incorrect. Incorrect. Center of my shoulder. No matter what I do, if I rotate, look where the cable is. Okay, that's direct opposition based on the way the fiber dictates what the fiber wants to do from where it attaches on the outside of the arm into the sternum. Press. Press. My goal, your goal, Michael, is to bring your hands to midline. You have to bring your hands to midline. Straighten them out. After 5 or 6 repetitions, hold it tight. Switch legs. See how I can maneuver through this? Switch legs. 5 more, a total of 10 reps. 2, 1, 2, 3, pause. 1, 2, 3, hold. 1, 2, 3, pause. 1, 2, 3, hold. I'm on my last rep. I'm fatigued. I'm just getting the last one out. Close pack position. 1, 2, and you're out. First exercise. We'll be right back. If you're alone in the gym, it's very cool if you could go from 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to show you some active rests. 1, 2, 3. But you might be crowded, so you might have to stay here and do 3 sets. The bottom line is, Mike, you're going to do about 10, 11 sets for your chest. Now, here I am. You saw that exercise. Okay? I just did a set. Between sets, do me a favor. Just draw back, draw back, draw back, draw back. Look at the difference. Here's my arms. Here's my shoulder blades, shoulder blades, shoulder blades, shoulder blades. Do 10 of those. Go right back into your set. I showed you the press. You're going to be doing 3 to 4 sets of the press. I'm going to show you the fly I'd like you to do. I want you to bring these in 1 notch. Okay, instead of the 5, I want you to bring them to the 4. You're going to lower the weight on a fly. Why? Because you have a longer lever arm. So look at the distance between my wrist joint and my shoulder with load as I come across in the fly position versus the distance between the elbow and the shoulder joint now. Okay? So the further the load is, the distal loading away from the joint, the axis of rotation, the more stress on the joint. You're not working your chest any differently during a fly than a press. All you see, Michael, is a extended lever arm, which puts more stress on the joint. So most people doing flies go, oh, I feel it more. That's not true. Most people doing chest flies will say, oh, well, this shapes my chest differently. Absolutely ridiculous. Makes no sense. Okay, so we're just going to increase the risk a little bit to put a little more emphasis, but you got to remember, save the joint. So you want to be very careful in this exercise. Never start a fly like this. I'm in my weakest position as the weight is at its strongest position, or the highest level. So why would I rip this forward like this? Okay, close back position. Walk it forward. Here's a strong position, Mike. Come on out. Now I start it in my strongest position, adducted position, and I slowly open. And remember that brick wall analogy? It's right behind me. Notice my hands, Mike. We talked about this on the phone. Not the semi-pronated, I'm shaking someone's hand. Okay? That's the shake on someone's hand here. Watch what I do with my hand. I'm going to rotate it just a little bit. Doesn't look like an upside down or inverted V. We're going to hold that position. I bring my shoulders down. I have a great base of support. I come out. 1, 2, and that's how slow you're moving. 3. There's an analogy I'd like to use with you, Mike. Where you start is where you stay. Nothing moves except the articulation of my glenohumeral joint, my shoulder. Everything else is solid platform. I'm creating this foundation to exert this force off of, and by keeping my foundation solid, I get more force from the prime mover than if I have all these motions that you see every day in the gym, you know, dropping the sternum, etc. That's your second exercise, fly. You might have done 3 sets of 10 on the presses with this in between. Then you go right into the fly, 3 sets with this in between. This in between could be 6 or 7. 1, 2, 3, another set. We'll get right back. We're going to show you the dumbbell. Michael, I can't tell you the history behind this stick, but it has a, trust me when I tell you, somebody offered me $100 for this, and I bought it at Home Depot for like $9.99. I did sell it though. I felt bad. So, anyways, okay, so here we go. Listen, I'm doing a bench press right now. Okay, I want to prove a point to you. I come down onto the bench press. I'm laying down on the ground. I'm looking at the ceiling, and I press. I come down and I press, and I get great force production from my tricep. Okay, because I'm elbow extending. Okay, I am connected to a bar. There's a predictable outcome. My shoulder blades are against the bench. So I have what's called anchoring, scapula anchoring. So I can only move through this path of motion. So the most mobile joint in the body, not the weakest, which would be the wrist, the most mobile would be the shoulder joint, is being dictated through this specific path of motion. And because your shoulder blades are connected to the floor or the bench, that's going to give you the shoulder impingement, and that's going to also decrease the congruency of the rotator cuff, which is going to lead to, okay, these pains and faulty patterns that you're experiencing. Acromion clavicular disease, shoulder impingement syndrome, all these little, like, what does that come from? Where does this pain come from? It's usually because you're fixing your body, you're not in that free range of motion. So just understand that if I don't have the ability to move my hands to midline, there's not too much chest. All of the clinical studies have shown roughly around the 38 to 42% mark of pec. I'm sorry, Mike. This video is designed to give you 90 to 100% stimulus in specific regions with synergistic dominance. A lot of different muscles are in play, so that all the neighbors are helping out, not just one person. Okay, one person's going to get hurt. So, again, with the bench press, I'm going to turn around. When you're doing a bench press with a straight bar, all it is elbow flexion, elbow extension, elbow flexion, elbow extension. You understand that? The third and last and final exercise you're going to do for your chest. Mike, you're not going to do push-ups. Sorry. No push-ups in my video. But what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to try the dumbbells. I want you to start with a super light weight. I'm going to do two versions. I'm going to do one on the floor and one on the bench. I'm hoping you pick the floor if you don't mind getting a little dirty. But you know what? We eat clean and train dirty. That's my motto. Okay, listen. How'd you get hurt? Well, I was bringing the dumbbells, picking them off the floor. So what I'd like you to do, Mike, is get your dumbbells and put them on the flat bench. Now you approach the flat bench. You pick up the dumbbells. You stand. Watch this. There is absolutely no load coming in this position. I hold the dumbbells on my quads and I sit down. You're going to laugh at this. These are weightless. Literally weightless. I don't even feel them that they're on me. I'm going to use the kick, rock and roll. As I sit back, I kick my legs up. Feet are on the bench. Back is flat. Look at the angle of my hands. Mike, this is what you see. Everybody's over here. I know you're saying that to yourself. Look where you're going to be. Watch what I do, Mike. I slowly come down. The bench is the floor. That's as far as I'm going. I'm bringing it back to midline. Breathing in. Bringing them back to midline. Breathing in. Bringing them back to midline. When I'm done on my last repetition, Mike, watch what I do. Very carefully. I turn them in like I'm shaking the hand. I bring my knees up. And I fall right forward. Weightless. You will not feel 1 pound. I want to show you another version. Mike, when I'm in the gym, this is what I do. This is my chest. I do it last. I also do deadlifts last. I do a lot of things in the reverse order, and there's a scientific reason why. I eliminate the risk. The muscle has no idea. Listen, muscles only feel tension under a certain window. Okay? This is clinical research, not gym talk, not Facebook talk. Muscles don't see numbers. Okay? They just experience load, period. They have no idea. So, what I'm going to do, I put 2 dumbbells on top of each other. Now, don't laugh at my chrome dumbbells. I've been here 30 years. Beauty bells were like the thing back in the 80s. I had to get them, I had no choice. So, I sit down between the 2. This is the time when people go, what is this guy doing? Why is he on the floor? What's happening? I rock these back. See, I can't pick them up off the floor here, Mike. That would kill my shoulders. But what I do is I rock back and just tilt them and bring them up. Now my back is flat. This is the bird's eye, Shane. Look at the angle of the dumbbells. Here's what everyone does, right here. This is what everyone does. Mike, you're not going to do this. Here's where you're going to be. Watch what I do. See that? Watch where they end up. Look at the angle. Okay, I'm looking up at them. They're under my chin. This is chin. This is my eyes. There's my forehead. Under the chin. Down. I'm just going to barely touch the ground. Barely touch the ground. Look at the angle of my hands. That's the most important thing right now. Look at my arms. My arms are almost going to my sides. Not quite. On your last rep, this is huge, Mike. Pay attention to this one. On your last rep, bring them down to the ground. That's a no load. Watch what I do with my wrist. You don't want to injure yourself here. This is where the injury comes in. Watch the snap. Lift your butt as you let these go. Watch. Okay? Rock. Grab a dumbbell and stand up. I did that on purpose. If you want to try that, give it a shot. That, to me, I've worked with thousands of clients with shoulder impingement syndrome. They feel nothing. 0. Okay, we'll be right back. 1. Warm it up. Engaging. Neural response. 2, coming over to the chest press, grabbing the hand grips, close pack, walk in, press out, find your cable, proper positioning, go through the chest press, 3 sets, 2, in between sets. This is non-stop, Mike. There's no rest. Friend comes up to you, buddy comes up to you, starts chatting, hold that thought. I got a meeting in about an hour, I gotta get out of here. Okay, now you're doing this fly, 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 in between sets, in between sets. Then you're going right over to the dumbbells that you put on the bench. Okay, you might do another 3 sets here. If this is comfortable for you, you might choose the floor. Rock and roll, kick, kick. Doing your presses. You're done. Right back up. Maybe you decide, Michael, that you really like this tip. Okay, so you're going to come on the ground and perform your sets here. Remember the angle of the hands. If I'm looking at the ceiling right now and I have 2 dumbbells in my hands, this is incorrect. This is correct. Look at my arms. 1, 2. Look at that angle, okay, versus the typical what you see in the gym. That brings the acromion clavicular joint up. The levator scapula, the muscle back here that attaches to the occipital ridge, to the spine of the scapula, elevates when you're on the ground. And it's in a very weak, risky position. That leads to calling upon muscles that are not involved in the press. And that's why you're experiencing that pain. Because some of those workers in there, they're not supposed to be part of the equation. So you deviate from that goal. We're going to be right back, and we're going to do some legs. Miguel, ¿cómo está ahí? Miguel, listen. Let's assume that my spine doesn't have curvature. Okay, it's just a straight spine. A straight spine is a weak spine, but for the analogy to learn this exercise, this is your first exercise out of the gate when you're doing legs. You've already warmed up. I'm assuming that you're going to do that warm-up every day. If I forward flex here, nothing moves. This is going to be the ability to assess how flexible you are in regards to the hamstrings. Believe it or not, this is a hamstring stretch from where the hamstrings attach as I go forward. It's very easy for someone to touch their toes. This is not hamstring. This is spinal flexion, my back rounded. There's no hamstrings involved. The hamstrings shut off now and act as a stabilizer mechanism. They fire and contract to balance you. Okay? So the old school touch your toes has nothing to do with your hamstrings. 0. Okay? That was from Canada, the military, testing, and all that stuff. This is a true hamstring. Right there, boom, can't go any farther. I'm feeling a serious pull. If I throw my back into it, I could easily touch my toes. So, the exercise we're going to do is a straight-legged deadlift. I hate the name, okay? What do you call it, like a live lift, something that has more a positive connotation. Listen, you're here, shoulder blades back, hold the 2 dumbbells. I slowly start to come forward. There's a bolt running through my hip. That's about as far as I can go. Never let that happen. Keep it flat. Never let this happen. Keep it flat. Come up. 1. Feel the stretch. 2. Feel the stretch. 3. Mike, we all have the innate need to look up. So that's increasing the cervical extension. We don't want that. Here's what I mean. Here's the dude in the gym. He's looking at the mirror. He comes down and he has to see himself in the mirror. And he has to see himself in the mirror. So that's like us all day standing like this. Keep your neck neutral. Straight-legged deadlift. Nice and slow. 10 repetitions. At the top end, slow motion. Draw. Slow. Feel the stretch. Draw. Slow. Like a little spring, Mike. Little spring here. Draw. Last rep. Foot back. Get closer to the ground. Drop the dumbbells. How far should the feet be for your platform to exert the force off of, or to give you that stable base so you can increase force production to utilize this environment properly? your feet should be as wide as the dumbbell. Look, put the 2 dumbbells on the floor, put your feet in the center of the hand grip area, and that's how you know you're in the right position. The manufacturer finally did something right. So we're right here, okay? Now, don't pick them up in that position, obviously. Get in a position where you're strong, where you can pick these up. Remember the analogy here? You won't feel anything here. Zero. There's nothing there at all. Okay? So pick up your dumbbells and go right into your first repetition. Now, as soon as you put those down, this you're going to go right into, there's a bench right near you. 2 dumbbells and a bench, any gym has it. You're going to lay on the ground. As soon as you get done with that, you're going to put your heels on a bench. 90 degrees of knee flexion. Mike, you have to have a strong, stable base. Your goal is hypertrophy, okay, to gain as much muscle as humanly possible. Solid foundation, head flat. Come on up onto the bench. I want 10 reps, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Squeeze the glutes and hamstrings on the way up. Also, Michael, when I'm doing this, even though you don't see the bench moving, I am digging my heels in the bench like I want to literally pop the vinyl on the bench and pulling the bench towards me. Okay, I'm pulling it towards me and I'm digging my heels in. 9, 10. On 10, Mike, hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2. Mike, you're going to want to drop your hips. Keep those hips high. Switch. Keep those hips high. Switch. You do it 4 times. Switch. Switch. Come down. Turn to the side. And come up. You're going to do it 4 times. Listen. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. Rest. Right back. Mike, this is in the center of my ankle. When you talk about ground-based support, it's not balls of the feet, it's not heel. If a trainer ever looks at you and says, keep it through the heel, or that makes no sense. Press through the ankle. So my foot stays flat, but I'm pressing through my ankle, because that's really what it's all about. I could keep my heel, keep my ankle, and cut me off in front of the ankle, and that's really all you need. The rest is for balance. So listen, water's running down my thigh now, isn't it? See? It's not now. It's resting on my thigh. We want to keep the force production in the quadricep. We don't want it trickling through the system and going to the patella or the quadricep tendon, which runs over the kneecap and attaches here, which I told you, that tibial tuberosity. And that's what deep squats are all about. Can your patellofemoral joint, can your kneecap, maintain the load as you go below parallel? That's more ligamentous and it's more tendinous. Okay, so that came into our industry for rules of a sport. Okay, you're a power lifter. For the rules of the sport, guess what? You have to exceed the body's ability on a science level. On a biomechanical efficiency or optimal level, you have to exceed that. Take the risk, because you're going to be in a contest or some type of a show where you have to go down to a certain level. Hit your chest, hit your butt to the ground, all these things that you hear. So this is a lunge basically, a basic single leg lunge. You're coming out of the lunge, stepping forward, sternum high. Okay, listen, can't get into the technical clinical research on this. This is going to be a little different than you're used to. Watch how I lean forward. I come back and I lean forward just a little. You're going to see a lot of guys in the gym that are doing it this way. I want you to come forward just a little bit. It's that same hip hinge that I showed you. Okay, this is not a lean forward, Mike. That's a bend forward. A lean forward comes from the hip. So lean forward, stand up. Lean forward, stand up. Lean forward, stand up. Yes, we're doing step back lunges. I'm showing you another circuit. We're still at legs. Still leg day. This is leg day. Lean forward, step up. Lean forward, step up. Lean forward, step up. Lean forward, step up. Watch my hands, Mike. Leg, arm. You know what that is, Mike? That's my range limiter. When my elbow hits my thigh, that's as deep as I'm going, buddy. right there. Water runs down. Okay? And up. Now the exercise. Mike, I'm going to start you at least a 25-pound plate. I'm praying that they have the hand grips. If not, just grab a 25-pound dumbbell. Okay, if they're the metal plates, old school gym, it's kind of hard to hold through the hole like that. But if they have the grip, that would be great. Listen, you just finished the straight-legged deadlifts and your heels are on the bench. Okay? Drink of water, wave to one of your buddies, and here it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now my arm goes along for the ride, Mike. It's a dead weight. Goes along for the arm. I can't shoulder shrug it. I don't want to bend it when I come up because I think I'm lifting a load. The whole purpose of this suitcase or side-loaded step-back lunge is to put emphasis or to put a challenge in the quad through this triple flexion movement. Triple flexion. Flexion, flexion, flexion. Ankle, knee, hip. Just keep your shoulder blade back. Don't think about the load. Think about pushing the load up. Push the load up. Push the load up. That's all you're doing. Switch sides. Shoulder blade back. See that, Mike? Mike, this is incorrect. You don't want this, Mike. This is incorrect. Looks good, doesn't it? No, we don't want this. Watch. See the difference? Look at my shoulder joint. This is incorrect. This is incorrect. Get it back. Lean forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, that's the step back lunge, side loaded, suitcase loaded, arm retracted, safest position in the human body. Keep it neutral. Don't let it protract. Okay? You're doing, right out of the gate, 10 on one side, side loaded, 10 on the other side, side loaded, right to the squat. Now, for the squat, notice my setup, Mike. When you do squats, you're going to have to bring an old shower towel with you. I'm assuming they don't have any fancy pads. We have Airex pads and things of that nature. I put a basic flat bench and one plate. I only want you to go down this far, Mike. Right here, where water still runs down your thigh. So you, sir, have to figure out how many plates do you need. Maybe you need 2 plates. I only need 1 plate. Put the towel on top. Okay, we're going to do a sit squat. I just got done with those lunges, right, left. I literally went right to the bar. I took a wide grip. You'll see on the bar, there's these perforations here. They have some lines. I take my middle finger, not to you, Mike, to the guy behind me. I take my middle finger, I put it on the bar, I come underneath, I center it. Get it off your neck. Next position for a squat. Here's where people make their mistakes. Draw your shoulder blades back. Look, that's my base of support. Don't stand here and lift. Incorrect. Back, lift. Huge difference. Now, making a quick adjustment here. I want you to go a little bit beyond shoulder width, not much. I'm going to have Shane look at my feet for a minute. You can see they're out just a little bit. They're not straight ahead, they're out a little bit. They're not straight ahead, they're out. I'm just going to look at the bench, look at my posture, stand tall, and I'm going to have a seat. Have a seat. Stay there, Mike. Mike, what I want you to do is slightly rock forward and stand. Have a seat, Mike. Slightly rock forward and stand. Feel good? No joint pain? Everything's cool? Everything's ready to go. Now you begin. Just tap. Sit, stand, sit, stand, sit, stand. Breathe in, hold, let it out. Breathe in, 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 let it out. You're done. You're fatigued. 1. Make sure it's clipped. Arms forward. Come around. The lunge into the squat. Okay? Listen. We're into time tension allotments. That's real bodybuilding. We're not power lifters. We're trying to develop muscle mass. Okay, we want to become stronger. I get it. The bottom line is you don't need a lot of weight. Okay? I don't know your strength in a squat. I'll go up to maybe 2 of these, 225. Maybe you'll do 185, 195. The bottom line is you never want to do less than 6 to 8 repetitions. I always do 10. I always pick a comfortable weight. Why? Because I'm always coming out of something else. Look, I'm pre-exhausting the muscles responsible for the squat. I come out of that and I go right to the squat. Mike, what does my body see that as? My body thinks I'm doing 300 pounds. It only knows tension. It doesn't say, hey, why are you only using 135 today? It doesn't realize it. And that's where people make their mistake, and that's where the injury comes in. So, as far as the 2 exercises back to back, let's make it convenient because you're in the gym. I want you to do 3 sets of what you just saw. Right lunge, left lunge, side loaded, squat. That's 1. Right, left, squat. 2. Right, left, squat. 3. Okay? Now, I want you to stop the lunges, and I want you to do an additional 4 sets of squats. All right? That's going to be part 1 of your legs. We'll be right back. Mike, we talked about the inverted leg press. Listen, really important to remember. I don't know if it's a TKA, if it's a Cybex, Life Fitness, whatever plate load. I'm sure that you're in a machine like this, and there's a plate here in front of you, and you're plate loaded on the sides. You're in like this, you put your feet up on the plate, and obviously your legs are coming down. Here's the deal. Make sure that your feet look just like that. Okay? Don't go wide. Okay? Don't go together. Just have them right about there. Okay? That's a good point. Not straight. Just bring them out a little bit. Now I want you to imagine that when your feet are on that plate, when your feet are on that plate, let's say this is a piece of carpet. I'm going to draw a straight line down. And I place my feet in that position. And as I press, eccentrically, concentrically, as I come down with the weight and control the load and pause, and as I initiate the press, going back to my starting position with a slight bend in my knee, never lock your knees out, I'm going to pull the carpet apart. On a scale of 1 to 10, about a 3. So basically, I hope you understand that. My feet are here. My feet don't roll, but I put pressure where I'm trying to pull and split the carpet. Do you understand the analogy? My feet are on the plate. And as I go through the motion, I'm actually just opening up just a little. My feet aren't really rolling out, but I'm just putting a little pressure, like I'm splitting the carpet. Think about this being a big piece of carpet. It's got it right here down the middle. I put my feet on it, and I'm just splitting the carpet a little bit. See what happens to my legs? I'm just splitting the carpet. The majority of Americans have falling arches or close to flat feet. The sneakers we wear are only meant to be used for about 3 months. This is endless studies. Every 3 months you should put a marker in your sneakers, throw them away, and get new sneakers every 3 months, especially if you're wearing them on a daily basis, especially in the gym. Your feet positions change. So to alleviate this, what's called axial alignment, the patella has a tracking system where that kneecap sits in a perfect track. And when it's off a little bit, you get what's called improper axial alignment, and you have a lot of stress in the ligaments and tendons around the knee. So that's why you're always getting these pains at 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock, or 9 o'clock in the kneecap. You can probably say, oh, I got it on the inside today, I got it on the outside today, etc. So to alleviate that, you're just splitting the carpet a little bit. When you split the carpet, your knees shift out, and the knee ends up right over the second metatarsal, okay? It's called axial alignment. If you look down the pipe at your knee and your foot, you're going to notice that the knee is on the inside of your big toe. That's what you want, okay? If you look down the pipe, center of the knee, if you drew a bullet or a dot in the center of your knee and look down and you notice your knee is on the inside of the big toe or the outside of the big toe, that's no good. Right on the inside of the big toe, so you don't want it to buckle in. So with the leg press, you could do it the inverted way, that's fine. Do another 3 sets after the squats. Or you could do this type of machine. This is very old school, but I'm sure they have something similar to this. This baby is like 15, 20 years old. But it's not the equipment you have, it's how you use the equipment. Here I am in the machine, I'm flat. My first cue when I do a machine like this, Michael, is I have a sponge under the small of my back. And my goal is to let all the water out of the sponge. So what are you going to see? A little press of my low back. The next thing I do is I automatically start pressing through the ankles. I keep it off the balls of the feet. I press through the ankles, I initiate my first pull, I spread the carpet a little bit, and I press out. But guess what? I go nowhere near a lock, Mike. Nowhere near a lock. Okay, keep the emphasis. I slowly come down. As I initiate the deceleration coming down, I squeeze the water out of the sponge. I press through the ankles. I pause. I press back up to my starting position. Okay? I'm spreading the carpet consistently. I come down. I squeeze the water out of the sponge. I press through my ankles. I pause. I press. Now, don't get confused. Michael, never press off your feet. What's he talking about? Never press off your feet, Mike. Look. My feet are on the plate, Mike. I come down. I press up. That's my body pushing off my feet. I'm going to use the inverted machine, your choice, or this type of machine, your choice. As I come down, watch my knees, Mike. Let's say there's a bar here or a string here. I'm going to push up against it. Okay? I'm going to press with my knees, not my feet. Look. Push my knees back. Push my knees back. Push my knees back. I hope you understand that. Okay? Imagine there's something here. I come down and I press it back. Okay? I come down and I press it back. If my arm was underneath your knees and you're on that bench and you're coming down, I would say to you, I would cue you and say, push my arm down. Okay? As you press, push my arm down. Don't press off your feet. You're going to automatically engage with muscles you never even knew you had. Okay, these are tricks that no one is really aware of. This is how the body works. It has to do with distal loading. Remember, you got feet and you have your lumbopelvic hip area. So the distance between my hips and my feet, that's a big distance. Okay, especially if you're a tall guy. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to shorten the Lincoln support system to put more emphasis in the quad. I'm actually fooling and tricking the system to think, ready for this? To think your feet are actually where your knees are. Okay, so we're going to actually bring down the risk and bring up the stimulus or emphasis of what you're looking for in the quads. Again, when you're doing the leg press machine, slow, controlled, rhythmic movements. 1, 2, 3, pause. 1, 2, 3, hold. Okay, you understand that? You're going to do that right after the squat. We'll be right back. Mike, just a regular pair of steps. Somewhere in the gym, you know there's steps. Okay, follow me. Okay, Mike, I showed you a pair of steps. I don't want to leave out calves. Okay, now you have an option. When you talk about calves and you talk about abs, they're done on an every other day basis. There's still a muscle. It's just like a bicep. So don't think about the literature that you could train a muscle every day. But what I'd like you to do is if there's a seated calf machine, okay, I'd like you to do at least 4 sets. Okay, you're going to have to figure out your weight, but 4 sets of the seated calf machine. I'd like you to do calves before you start your legs. I'd like you to do calves before you start your workout. However you set up this workout, if you're going to do chest and shoulders in one day, I'm just saying, we'll talk about this. The bottom line is you walk into the gym, the first thing you do, literally, after that warm-up of jumping, calves. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. See how it works? Every other day. Calves are the first thing you do when you go in the gym, all the time. Now, I'd like you to do at least 4 sets of the seated and 4 sets of the standing. I don't have a seated calf machine, but you know what that is. You get in the machine, put your feet on, little pads here, load it on the side or in the front, little handle, move the handle, and obviously slow. Don't drop your heels too far. Come up as high as you can. Slow, come up as high as you can. Don't rock. I'm sure you know that. We'll discuss it. Somewhere in the gym, there's probably steps. If not, I always put a couple plates on the ground or a step in front of the squat rack. As far as the standing goes, you're going to do the standing after. The standing comes after the seated. 2 different muscle groups. One's the gastrocnemius, which is the upside down heart that you see when I stand on my toes. Okay, that's one aspect of the calf. And then there's the soleus. The fascial system of the soleus is really what develops a calf. If someone asks me, hey, how do I get big calves? Seated. Not standing, seated. Seated gives you that bulbous look, and that's going to define you because the thickness of the fascial system in the soleus region is a lot thicker than the gastroc. And the soleus is really activated more in a bent knee position than is in a straight leg. That doesn't mean that one takes a coffee break. They're both working equally. So you're going to basically let one leg hang and just do your straight-legged calf raises on a bench, on a step, on 2 plates. Do you notice that I'm not dropping down and stretching? Get rid of that, okay? I don't know why people ever told somebody to do that. Just come on up, hold. Come on up, hold. Let's say you did 10. Let's say you did another 10. Let's say you did another 10. Okay? Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. You're going to do 4 sets on each side. Michael, there is no rest. Right side, left side, right side, left side, right side, left side, right side, left side. You've already done 4 sets of the seated. When you're totally done with that, that's 7 sets total every other day. First thing you do when you get in the gym. Then you could do just a nice light stretch. Michael, this is not a calf stretch. Okay? I don't know what this is. Okay? This is somebody trying to move something. Shane, can you help me move it? Okay, so the bottom line is, here's what you're going to do. Lift your toes. Lift your toes. Lift, 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 lift. Oh, I love that song. Love it. Just move your feet. Tap to the beat. That's what I want you to do. That's your calf stretch. It's neurological. It's called reciprocal inhibition. Okay, you're going to neurologically shut off the calf and elongate it by directing attention to the opposing muscle group. An example is if I have a really, really tight bicep. It's killing me. Okay, you see the guys walking around the gym like this, all hyper-flexed. They just finished a set of biceps. If you run over to the cable machine and do tricep extension, you'll alleviate that feeling and elongate it and shut it off. Reciprocal inhibition. You can look it up. So the bottom line is, after you finish calves, that completes your leg workout. We're going to be right back. I want to embark and dive really deep into shoulders. We're going to do that next. We'll see you soon. Hey Mike, factoid. Every once in a while I'm going to throw myself in and do a factoid, totally off the subject that we were just on. But did you notice I didn't do an incline bench with you, or an incline dumbbell press and all that stuff? Remember, Mike, you and I invented this machine. We decided to put it on an incline. We decided to get in here and do a dumbbell chest press or a straight bar press with an incline, and we go, oh yeah, I feel it in my upper chest. Well, that's geography, not anatomy. That's like saying, let's work my lower bicep, or let's work my inner tricep or something. Inner thigh, okay, outer thigh. No such thing as an outer thigh. There is no outer thigh in the body. But we've developed a machine that we press resistance against called the hip abduction, AB, versus the adduction when you squeeze together and break to midline. I hope you're following me here. An incline dumbbell chest press or a straight bar bench press incline works mostly the clavicular region, but it's mostly anterior delt. Ask any one of your friends, any one of your buddies at the gym, when they do an incline dumbbell, ask them where they feel it the most, and they'll say front shoulder. It's the guy that gets off the bench and does this when he should be doing this. You get it? Talk to you soon. Any cable machine, doesn't matter. Get a pulley high, as high as you want, doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong here, okay? If you have a double pulley like this, that'll be awesome. If you only have a single, I'm going to assume you have a single for now. I put on a reasonable weight. I have like 7 plates. You'll figure it out. What I'd like you to do is bring this cable down. We are in our shoulder section. Our first exercise out of the gate. Remember, whatever today is, I did calves first. Here I am with the cable in the center of my shoulder. I'm going to depress my shoulder blade. Mike, you know what a shoulder shrug is? We're going to do the opposite. Watch. Coming back to neutral. Mike, don't elevate. That's a shoulder shrug, right? We're going to press, 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 press. Look at my knuckles going right along my quad. Press, 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 switch, press, press. I'm depressing my shoulder blade. Push, push, push. What am I doing, Mike? Mike, I'm thinking about your shoulder. I'm digging into my memory banks, my physical therapy education, biomechanics. I am elongating all the upper fibers of the trapezius, the levator, everything that's going to create some kind of shoulder impingement syndrome. I'm trying to neurally make a pathway so that trap 4, the trapezius, upper fibers, horizontal row fibers, fibers that depress. I'm taking the fibers that depress, it's called trap 4. Everything that draws or downward rotates the shoulder blades, creating an elongation back there so you don't get that impingement when you're doing these exercises. I want you to do 4 exercises on each side. Mike, if you have the ability to have the cables above you close together, okay, get these down safely. Excuse me. There's a blooper. Get these down safely and depress together. Depress. Depress. Mike, never, ever bend your elbows. My arms are a pipe. Okay? Absolutely no bend in the elbows. Push from the shoulder blades. Push from the shoulder blades. Push from the shoulder blades. Push, press down, hold from the shoulder blades. Press down from the shoulder blades and up. That's the first exercise out of the gate. You're going to do 4 sets on each side, whether it's right side, left side, or together. 4 sets. As soon as you do that, get those blades, those better pulleys apart. Look where they are. I'm going on the ground, Mike. Remember the towel that you took for leg day? Well, have it in your bag at all times. Listen, if you don't mind laying on the floor, that's cool as well. I'm just throwing that down there, throwing it out. I'm not sure of your environment. Okay, here's what you're going to do. I have about 20 plates on right now. You're going to get into this position on the ground, hand grips, and you're going to drive your shoulders back. What does this look like, Mike? Remember the chest press we did with the cables? The exact opposite. Pull. Instead of pressing to midline, shoulder extension. Here's what you look like on the ground. That same angle that comes down on the humerus, alleviating that shoulder impingement syndrome, where the acromion process meets the clavicle. I'm coming on the ground. To get on the ground, I'm fully loaded, so it's easy. I just drop myself, lower myself. The pulleys are in front of me, Mike. Okay? Load line is really important, because if the pulleys are not in front of me, look what's going to happen from the side. If I was to pull right now, oh man, that's 100% shoulder impingement. Okay, watch where I need to be. Look at the difference. Now I get to keep that arm down. Mike, you're going to come into a bridge. Coming into a bridge, Mike, is going to free your shoulder blade and give it the mechanical ability to retract without being fixed like an anchor on the ground. You're going to be heavy enough to hold your body and pull and do the opposite of a chest press. When you start to fatigue, drop, and you'll give you a little more force production. Listen, nothing wrong with a little bit of a rock. See what I just did? And pull. Keep it nice and straight, and pull. If you don't have to, just stay there. Just stay there. All you were doing, Mike, is this. Okay? That's rear delt. You're going to start with posterior. You're going to start with the muscles you never ever see in the mirror. Mike, I'm going to try to put so much stimulus and so much blood into your shoulder girdle region that when I get to the side raises and everything else I want to do, you're not going to feel any pain. We'll be right back. On the cable machine that you just saw, we were doing the on-the-floor rear delt pulls. The cables were above my head. We're going to do the same exercise on a strength aspect. Okay, because the shoulders don't have to retract horizontally in a posterior aspect, just in a chest press, we're going to connect ourselves to the bar. This is a basic squat rack. You could use a Smith machine. Look at the angle. This is just a hold. Again, Mike, what I'm trying to do is create stimulus in a region so that you don't have it and experience that pain. But on the second level, we're also giving it a hypertrophy base or a strength base as well. So here's what I am. I am here on the bar, same position. When I come up and hold, we're going to do it in a bent knee fashion first. When I come up and hold, I'm in that same position. If you saw a bird's eye view, I'm sorry, Shane. I'm here. Okay, I'm not here. Hold that position. My hips are high. Mike, because my knees are bent, I took half of my body weight out of the equation. We're seeing my legs straight. Watch the difference. Okay, this is 100 pounds. This is 50 pounds. Start with the 50 pounds. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let yourself down, Mike. 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let yourself down, Mike. 1, 2. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let yourself down. 1, 2. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mike, we're going to do 6 of those. On 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Drop. Rock. 3 sets. We'll be right back. Recap. We started shoulders. We did that depression. Hands along your side. 4 sets on each side. We immediately went down on the ground, lowered the pulleys a little bit. Why do we lower the pulleys, Mike? It's just common sense. So you don't have to reach up so high. Okay? Your back is flat. You go into your bridge. It opens up your shoulder blades. You get the ability, the mechanic ability to pull down in that same position. As soon as you get done with 3 sets of this, shoulder day, you did calves first, you go right to this in that bent knee position because the long lever arm on your heels is going to be 100 pounds heavier. We're going to start with the bent knee. Now listen, if you're doing this exercise and you say to yourself, bent knee, I can do it straight leg, do it straight leg. You just take it to the next level. I love it. Congratulations. I'm just always start out with something simple, and we can always increase the complexity of that environment if we talk. So we could go straight leg or bent leg. Remember, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let yourself down, 1, 2. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let yourself down, 1, 2. 3 sets of this. We'll be right back. Michael, you just saw that whole shoulder series. We're still doing shoulders, my friend. Excuse me, the Leaders of Heaven's Army. Michael, look it up because that's what your name means. We're bringing this pulley down, Mike. Low pulley. Listen, anywhere in the gym with there's cable machines, if you can bring the pulley all the way to the ground, you're golden. I'm setting a reasonable weight. We're going to try a side raise with you. I want you to watch the form, and I want you to watch the angle that I'm using. Yes, it's distal loading, meaning the load is way away from the joint. We're going to take a chance. Why? Because we already did all those exercises to set the stage for doing this particular. Mike, the only reason I did those exercises with you was to set the stage for this one. Okay, so hopefully this is going to work. Look where the pulley is and look where my hands are. I'm dead center. My hands are in front of me. I'm getting ready to golf. okay? The pulley is directly in front of me, dead center of my crotch. I'm going to take 1/4 turn to the side, my left hand. Let's do that again. I'm dead center. The pulley's on the ground, Mike. I'm dead center. My hand is straight in front of me. I'm going to take 1/4 turn. The fibers of the deltoid on the middle aspect, not medial, middle aspect, run on a diagonal. So I want to make sure that we're hitting those fibers properly. Mike, you're going to start out here. Your hand has to be on the outside of your left leg. Left hand is in motion. Here's your starting position, slight bend in the elbow. Here's your finish position. Mike, do you notice my hand is not above my shoulder? Okay? Mike, you're going to see this in the gym. We don't do that. In the gym, here's Michael. Right there, Mike. Pause. 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 I'm lifting my elbow. I want you to imagine there's a string coming out of my elbow to the ceiling. Someone's taking that string, okay, and lifting it towards the ceiling. Okay, water at top range still runs down my arm. My wrist never exceeds the level of my shoulder joint, and I'm on that angle. As soon as I finish my 10 repetitions there, I switch to the other side. Mike, center. 1/4 turn to the left. My starting position, right hand, 1 or 2 inches outside my right knee. Why? Because I want constant tension. Tension time allotment. Okay, this is muscular hypertrophy. We do not want to start in a resting phase. Here's my starting position. That same athletic posture, strong position. I slowly rise. What am I rising with, Mike? My elbow. Listen, everybody pulls with their hands. Look what happens. Okay, everybody pulls with their hands and their elbow drops. You see that all day long. This is the position. I want you to be here. Totally different. Remember that water analogy that runs down? That's Shane playing with the TRX. Don't worry about that. Don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain. Nice and easy. Slow. Hold. Pause. Hold. Pause. Hold. Pause. This is your side raise. Remember, it's middle delt. It runs on a diagonal. Watch this for a second, Mike. You're going to see this in the gym 24/7. They're going to stand here with the cable close to their body, and they're going to lift. Look at the difference. Cable away from the body. Now we activated and engage with the fibers that run on a diagonal aspect as the humerus abducts, comes away from the body. Now, how do we do the exercise? This is cool because you don't have to worry about anybody taking your equipment. You're in here with the cable. You 1/4 turn. You 1/4 turn. You go through your movements. 4 sets on each side, 10 reps. I need to know, write me after you try this, or text me. I need to know whether this is taking away that shoulder impingement that you were talking about, based on all the exercises we did before this. Stay tuned. We're going to be right back. We're not done with shoulders, my friend. Mike, there's the pulleys on the machine. I got 2 pulleys close together. Hopefully you have this type of machine. I'm just taking a chance. Here's what we're going to do. I have a lightweight on. I'm going to cross the cables, Michael. Cross the cables. Look, here's the cables close to my body, which is incorrect. I'm going to walk away from the machine. Why did I walk away from the machine, Mike? You remember the analogy? I'm here. 1/4 turn, 1/4 turn. That's the 1/4 turn I'm looking for by coming away from the machine. Here's my starting position. Here's my finish position. Notice the elbows are high. Pause. Pause. So that is as high as I'm going with these sticks, okay? So as I come down, the cable's in front of me, I'm driving up slowly, pause. Look at the water running down. We're going to try to alleviate this shoulder impingement. Thank you, Karen. Look, there's no difference. Remember the single we were doing? There's no difference. We're in the same exact path of motion, range of motion, environment, body position, platform stance, everything is the same. I just incorporated 2 cables coming up. Give that a shot. I can tell you this, most people will feel a little more pain, and it's a lot more stressful in the double cable situation. You have a better platform and you're stronger in the single arm, so you might want to stick with the single arm for now. That's your shoulder workout. To recap, remember the exercise that we're doing. Okay, remember the shoulder depression first, 4 sets on each side. We got right on the ground. We went into a bridge. Why did we go into a bridge? Because you have the mechanical ability to retract your shoulder blades. So you're pulling straight down in the reverse horizontal shoulder extension of a chest press. So you're pulling straight down. From there, we use the Smith machine. Remember the 6-second, 2-second. You can refer back to that. And then we did the side raises, single arm, straight, quarter turn, side. 4 sets on each side. That's the shoulder workout I'd like you to start with. We're coming back for some more kick-ass workouts. Right back. Talk to you soon.